Hello, and thank you for joining us for another episode of Common Sense Commanders, a series by Security Squared. This is episode 1 of the CMMC Chronicles, How Far Do You Want to Stray? So as of July 13th, 2026, the Department of War announced the suspension of Phase 2 for CMMC. Later that day, we witnessed knee-jerk reactions from different businesses and individuals posting online regarding the death of CMMC. It was pretty theatrical. There was a post from the Small Business Administration commending the Department of War's move, stating that CMMC imposes costly bureaucratic burdens and a hot topic of compliance costs approaching as much as $600,000 for small businesses, $388,600 for self-assessment. What a lot to get through. So we just want to pause for a minute and say this isn't like what happened to the dinosaurs. This is not necessarily an apocalypse at this time. There is a need for some change, and we want to dig into that just a little bit. So first off, you don't have to get certified by a C3PAO yet. It's not going extinct. There are still applicable DFARS clauses in effect, specifically 252.204-7012 or implementing NIST 800-171 Revision 2. We've gotten a lot of questions. Do you need Revision 3? For the Department of War, Revision 3 has not been a green-lit activity at this time. From what we understand, the Cyber AB still appears to be functional and is executing on their contract, and ISACA is still managing certifications for CCPs and CCAs. Nothing has been taken down for the CMMC ecosystem at this point. Only a date, November 10th, has really been pushed to the side. So, big question we get a lot. What does the certification do now? It's doing the same thing it was doing before the mandatory date was supposed to go into effect. Third-party organization provides assurance, not insurance, that your system can protect CUI. And then, of course, this is a financial investment that also helps with competition. It allows a company to have the potential to rise to the top of bidding between different competitors for primes or even the Department of War themselves, because you've already performed due diligence yourself on your system by getting a certification. So we get but I don't want to spend $600,000 to get CMMC certified. And, well, we don't either. There really is a discrepancy, however, between what the average cost is and what has been published. Keep in mind, we took in a couple of different factors. One is professional advisories. Some organizations are trying to do it themselves. What we've seen in the ecosystem is that a contractor attempting to get CMMC certified that does not have a certified and experienced advisor is most likely going to fail the first time in because they do not know how to successfully document their information security program or even detail out or figure out what they need to correctly protect controlled unclassified information. So for businesses that are not startups, or if you are a startup, the idea should be to work first with what you have and then to branch out from there. And yes, we've gotten this is specifically for a startup. No, any business, if you're not a startup, look at what you have. If you are a startup, sometimes starting fresh can be the best way to do this. The other thing that we've seen is that certification assessments have a varying cost depending on all different types of businesses, all of these different contractors, and they don't appear to average over $50,000 for a certification. Keep in mind, this is the actual Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3, Phase 4 of the CMMC assessment process as currently documented on the Cyber AB. But $50,000 is something usually for a business with physical locations, and they may have some complexity to their environment, but maybe not that much complexity. For businesses with more virtual environments or smaller requirements to do what they need to do, this cost can go down. But I'm not seeing really almost a $200,000 projection on what was stated by different authorities at this time for what the cost for a CMMC certification should be. $50,000 is only a quarter of what we might assume for certification. So what we want to do is spend a little time just talking about getting the right understanding. If your company with software or an office suite requirements, you're already investing in IT. You're not buying stuff because you have to get certified. You're buying stuff because you need to do business. It's the cost of doing business. For small business of 25 employees or less, you might already have to invest in an office suite such as Google or Microsoft. Now add other software that you need to, say, design work, or you need to purchase equipment or hardware for operational technology, etc. You're investing money into things that you need to have in order to do business and, by the way, make money. So the $600,000 projection, this could be pretty critical, but this is more likely to be something for a company with higher level complexity requirements. Maybe they are working on CMMC type requirements where they have CY, or maybe they have to invest because they have a higher categorization, as in they have to front resources for classified data or information. And so that may factor into this as well. So let's start with, that small business of 25 employees or less. Let's say we're investing about $35,000, office suite, spam filter, multi-factor authentication, additional security measures as needed like firewalls, etc. But don't add that to the cost for certification. Add that simply to this is the cost of doing business, and we want to protect our proprietary data even before we get anything else of a different categorization from a customer or client. So doing the math, let's add an investment of $25,000 for additional services or systems. And again, we're just saying this as an example, and this is for that small business. You add advisory for, say, $36,000 a year. Small complexity, so hey, we only have, let's say, CMMC certification, and we have to do Cyber UK Essentials, or we really have to deal with an ISO requirement, such as a 9001 or ANSI, ANSI. These may all factor into some, but not a lot of complexity. And you would budget, instead of hiring somebody for a minimum, especially if you're looking for certified and experienced, instead of hiring somebody for a minimum of $125,000 a year, you are looking at $3,000 a month, or about $36,000 a year, which is a heck of a lot cheaper. And then let's say you have a small business, maybe one location, and so that means some travel for your certification assessment. Maybe that's going to be $40,000. If we do the math, 25 plus 36 plus 40, I'm getting 101, but I can still get to about 600,000 if you close your eyes and yell blah, blah, blah really hard. This does not mean that 600,000 is wrong. It just means that that may be an inaccurate average for smaller businesses to consider when they're implementing information security practices. So yes, that means we're not criticizing. We are also growing gray and old, dealing with some of these discussions, but we're not criticizing what's come out, because ultimately it really is tough to quantify cost, considering that you need a holistic picture of what will be an actual cost to get certified. Some organizations make small pieces that go into larger pieces that go for the Department of War and the War Machine. Some organizations do research and development. Some people have companies that are making an assembly of different parts that come from different places, including commercial off-the-shelf parts, but the sum of what is being built is then categorized as COI, and you may have digital information that supports that. And so that's why numbers can be skewed. So this isn't a blame game. This is ultimately, we need a holistic picture of what will be most important and what we need to invest in. And of course, maybe not all the parties have come to the table yet to discuss this, and we're hoping that makes a clearer picture. And so that's why they've assembled kind of a reform committee to take a look at what the cost of CMMC is and see if they can improve that specifically for small businesses. So we're going to wrap it up. Just a couple things. CMMC isn't dead, so put your bagpipes away and quit telling work you have a funeral to attend. Work goes on. Implementing an information security program is still important. Protecting critical data. Stop thinking just about CUI. Start thinking about things that your business does specifically that you don't want your competitors or other people to know about. That is still important. It needs to be protected. And then finally, information collection is what is most important, and that's what the Department of War is currently doing. So let's not criticize what they've said. Let's look at the fact that they've been provided some information, and ultimately that November 10th deadline probably was going to be really tough to get everybody certified by that time. So let's just keep a level head. Stay tuned for the next episode, and I need some coffee.